Welcome back in to this episode of Talkin Tech. Home team Brandon Leak, the all-time leading passer. Name's on the building down there at Bobby Dodd Stadium, too. Joe Hamilton is here at Georgia Tech. And Coach Sean Nerny, Talkin Tech, a little review, a little preview, and a little of what we would like to see going forward. Duke game in the books. Pretty much the long and the short. A bad second quarter, which had you down going into the half. Turnovers, miscue on special teams, and not being able to get those stops. But second half, you saw a quarterback operate the offense, and you saw an offense take care of the ball.
I saw steady improvement. Just in stages where we're looking at maybe you're going to get off the field on third downs at a higher rate. But when you got that covered, which we said was money down, you allowed Duke to now take advantage of you on fourth down. You weren't totally getting off the field. Some of those things can go right back to the drawing board in practice and get corrected. So when you get a punt block, what went wrong? When you're coming out and you're saying of your Coach Collins, the scoreboard doesn't matter, and we all only worrying about how we playing, you have to keep that message. You can't get down. So the positivity that he's trying to go out, infused throughout the program, I think that'll get us fans and us Talking Tech through these tough times of allowing Duke and that ball game to be over before halftime.
Yeah, and it was great to see them come out in the second half and respond and get some kind of flow going. Now, I mean, the first half, there's not much to say about it other than it was pretty much a total disaster, especially when you lost your Mike linebacker, David Curry, to the targeting call early in the ball game. Yeah. After that happened, you really, your defensive front seven was really getting pushed around a lot. You saw Duke really running that dive play and having some success there. There were moments, I think, Georgia Tech's secondary, some players, Awani Thomas had a really nice pass break up near the goal line early in that ball game. There were moments, but, watching the game film, and I was watching it again this morning, and it's just, for the great moments that the secondary would have, you look at the line of scrimmage and you can just see that Georgia Tech, they're not where they need to be at the line of scrimmage. The pass rush still had a tough time getting to the passer this week, and the secondary, I don't care how great your secondary is, they can't guard people forever.
And the why I'm feeling so happy now, Nerny and home team, is because that's not going to change, right? So why am I going to look forward to a season that's playing the opponents we got coming up and saying, hey, we're going to rush the passer or we're going to sack the quarterback? It's really about the Jimmys and Joes right now, and give credit to those guys that are trying hard, but the game plan is going to be to maul the guys up front, and then have your guys block and get the receivers deep downfield, long, extended pass routes. So you're going to let those guys work, but bigger, stronger, faster. You can't work on it throughout the season. You can't get recruits in during the season. So that's going to rear its ugly head for the rest of the season, in my opinion.
Going to take on Miami now. You're taking on a team, bigger defensive line. One of the better defenses in the ACC, allowed 10 touchdowns so far this season. You want to make sure you take care of the ball. You're not behind the chains. What I would like is to see if you could just get you a couple of scores before half. If you can get to 10, if you can get to 13, if you can get to 14 before the half, give the offense and the defense a little bit of wiggle room in case there are some breakdowns. It's going to be a tough day, though, if you can't move the chains and you let that Miami defense kind of lean on you a little bit.
Are you really game planning for Miami? How are you going about game planning? I know you're trying to win a ball game. I know you're trying to put players in the best situation possible. But you can't set a goal like score 23 points, score 25 points. It's almost really literally play by play, down by down, like it's practice in my opinion.
Right. Well, I think defensively, you do game plan defensively just so you're not going out there looking lost. But offensively, at this point in the season where they're at right now, during the week, instead of really looking at the defense and where the weaknesses on the defense that you're going to face, I'm just looking at what we do well.
Yes.
What are we doing well, and let's roll with it. And one thing that stood out to me in the first half against Duke, the stretch plays, the blocking, the zone blocking right, zone blocking left. When Jordan Mason, when you gave him a chance to find a hole and cut up, they had success.
Yes.
Now, on the other side, when they would go for a power look against Duke and you would go man-on-man blocking, there wasn't much of a push there. So one thing I'm looking at, if I'm Georgia Tech, I'm Dave Patton, I'm looking and seeing that, okay, our offensive line was better when they got moving out to the right or the left, and we got Jordan Mason a chance to cut up. Power look, maybe not so much.
Outstanding, Nerny. And you know what? I'm telling you, it just hurts my heart, man, when we start to continue to see, especially our team, fourth and short, third and short, goal line situations. You're going to back that quarterback up 5 yards deep, no fullback, in a short yardage situation. That does not bode well. So you always want to keep a situation where you can put that quarterback under center and have the threat of a quarterback sneak without having to go 5 yards. And you saw us in the first half with another momentum changer going forward on 4th down and losing yards. That doesn't bode well. It wasn't a good look. But how happy are you to see that we're not living in a hybrid offense anymore?
More traditional.
More traditional. We've wanted it. We kind of seen it transition or shift from, Coach Johnson to what we saw early in the season.
And James Graham's looked more
comfortable. And now it's getting
comfortable.
back to what you see it might become going forward.
Well, it's it's officially James Graham's offense. I mean, Tobias Oliver was lined up a receiver again, but he was the one out there running those speed options, which, by the way, don't get fully away from the speed option look, because sometimes those things look okay.
Yes.
It gets positive yards and it runs clock. What's wrong with that? The one thing I think defensively, you're playing a quarterback that doesn't have a ton of experience. And so now you have a situation where you're not, seeing a guy who's a senior, seeing a guy who's been in a lot of battles. And Miami has had a couple of games, and they're going to try to work through some things as well, but where they haven't been the most focused for 4 quarters. Is this an opportunity for the Tech defense? And you made a good point, Nerny. The secondary can only cover for so long, but with the talent that you have, is this an opportunity, a game like this, where you might be able to find an opportunity or two to make some big plays?
You can stop the run. The number one goal coming in, if you're a DC, it's like you got to stop the run, okay? Because if you stop the run, then you're putting it all on the shoulders of the rookie quarterback. I will take Georgia Tech and their experienced secondary over that rookie or freshman quarterback at Miami. So if you can stop the run and put it more so on that freshman's shoulders, then I think that's a good game plan.
Well said.
Thank you.
That'll do it for this week of Talkin' Tech. We'll see if the Jackets can see some improvement. 3 straight weeks of improving on the offense. We'll see if they can do that again and see if they can make the corrections that they want to see week in and week out to give Jacket Nation that hope that everybody's looking for. For Joe Hamilton, for Sean Nerny, I'm Home Team. We'll see you next week.